waste money. But before we do that, type 1 in the comment section if you can hear me, and type 2 if you can see me. So please, 1 if you can hear me, 2 if you can see me. All right. Now we'll be going straight in. Before we go on, clear see you these days, each and every one of you. It's good to see you. I like your smiling this morning. It's good to see you right there watching online. Before we enter the affirmations, please time for you to relax. Put your mind in this. Don't just say because we are asking to say stay you believe. Instead, always sleep. Our words are formed by our words. So say from the depths of your heart, relax, your own people, it and focus and say from of your heart. Are you together? Are you ready? Wisdom, are you ready? For the affirmations. Anyone? You ready? All right. You ready now? Taking a deep breath in, a deep breath out. A deep breath in again and a deep breath out. Okay, let's go. Just be tapping the down button. Today I affirm that I am a powerful realtor. I focus my energy on what I am good at. I breathe in confidence and breathe out doubt. There are no wrong decisions. I attract people who help me meet my goals. My business is constantly growing. I am a natural leader. All challenges lead to growth. I make a lot of money and help a lot of people. I attract money through love and joy. I enjoy multiple streams of income. Every money I spend, I'll get back multiplied. My business is thriving in every way. I can turn my expertise into income. I am grateful for the wealth I create. My business is overflowing with opportunities. I release my doubts and insecurities. Every day, I am building a successful company. I am driven by passion and purpose. I sell hundreds of properties. We take that line again. I sell hundreds of properties. I sell hundreds of properties. I close all pending deals. I invest in myself and my business every day. I know how to delegate responsibilities for the best efficiency. My work makes me feel happier and stronger each day. I am capable of running my business. I am the CEO of the best enterprise in the world. I am great at finding solutions. I close deals back to back to back. Again, I close deals back to back to back. I am awarded the best-selling realtor. I am awarded the best-selling realtor. I am awarded the best-selling realtor. This is my reality, and I walk in it. This is my reality, and I walk in it. Right, put your hands together for yourself. So straight up, we're getting into the business of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome our phenomenal coach and mentor, Mr. Jeff.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Chidebere. Good morning, Chooks. Good morning, Obama, Jacinta. Good to see you all here today. Our online audience, good morning. Good to see you. I hope we enjoy the affirmation section. Please learn to imbibe it as a habit, as a culture, and do it from time to time, right? If you can hear me clearly, please type one in the comment section. I'd like to get your feedback to know if you can hear me clearly for our viewers online. If you can see me too clearly, please type two in the comment section. I'd like to know that we are clear and ready to run, right? It's been an amazing time. This is Browdy Global Limited. We are a real estate marketing and development company, RIDAN approved and certified. Here, headquartered here in Enugu, but we do business within the Southeast. We also run the Browder Realtors Group, which is a community of upwardly mobile real estate marketers and people that love to do real estate the right way, right? We're a community of these people, and we help build structure for realtors, both new and intending, and also veteran realtors too. We put structure for you so that you can easily communicate your value to your audience and make sales adequately, right? We also realtor school, which is a community, which is an online school, actually a literal school, where we walk you through the beginning from a novice, like you don't know anything about real estate or marketing real estate, to the point where you begin to make sales. As a matter of fact, we just graduated our first set of realtors after an intensive 4 weeks training, right? And clap. You need to clap in the comment section, right? And of course, they're actually doing their projects at the moment, and I am so confident of the fact that their sales begin to stream in rapid successions in no distant time. The testimonials are mind blowing, and right now we are admitting for the next batch, which will resume in a couple of weeks, days or so, right? You need to contact Obama with the numbers that will be posted in the comments right now, or go to www.realtors.school to register. Okay? Without wasting further time, it's been a very cool morning. And I like to teach on cool mornings because I feel like it will enter. The brain is cool, is calm, no much heat, you know, right? And God always descended in the cool of the day. Amazing. That's true. That's true. So I'm sure that Rema would descend. All right. So you pardon me. I'll be clearing my throat as we speak. But we're going to have a very interesting time. We're going to be discussing, and we're going to continue in a series we began a few weeks ago. We skipped 2 weeks in doing this series. We started it 4 weeks ago, I think. We started a series called Critical Factors That Affect Real Estate Sales. And we're trying to, the idea is to analyze and look at what are the things, the factors, right, that affect your sale as a realtor, right? So we began a few weeks ago. If you missed this sections, I don't know what to tell you. These are some of the most comprehensive real estate marketing sections you will see on the planet, right? And we began by first, describing the sales anatomy to you, which of course I'll try and do that right now. And then we went ahead out on the first day, and that first series, we talked about you as an individual, right? You as an individual, because it starts with you. You decided to become a realtor, right? You decided to become a realtor. You went through the trainings for the few amazing people that have gone through the realtor school. For those that haven't, I don't know, you decided to go through the trainings, and then you decided to, pick up a property. So first, it starts with you, right? What are the factors around you as a person that affects your sales? We dealt with that on the first day. So we talked about the mindset of a winning realtor, the mindset of a high flying realtor. It starts from there, right? Your mind has to be right for you to achieve and attract the kind of, clients and sales that you are aspiring to attract. It's not enough to just pray about it. Yes, prayer is key, right? However, even the Bible said you watch and pray, right? You pray prayer without works. Faith without works is dead. Beautiful. Faith is a prayer. Faith is a form of prayer, right? So for you to even step out and decide that, okay, I'm a realtor, that is faith. Faith, right? You said I'm a realtor. I can. You said I can help you acquire your or achieve your real estate goals. Even when, I mean, you've never helped anybody before, right? I remember the first really land. You know how the first land sales or first commission just sticks in your head. I even remember the day, right? And that was like God saying, "Yeah, I'm backing you." You know how you step out in faith. You're just doing something, and then God says, right? And it's just faith. But then you need to attach work to it. And so, as a person, what are the things? What are the capacity you need to build? What kind of capacity do you need to build? What kind of mindset do we need to have? Is it good to be able to attract the kind of sales we've done? Affirmation, I close deal back to back to back. Yes, very good. You need to build capacity, to be able to close that deal. So that was what we dealt with the first day. I think the replay is still on Realtor School and on YouTube channel. If it's not, then I am sorry. I mean, the day two, Jacinta walked us through the second part of the series. Jacinta walked us through understanding as a realtor. Now that you've decided to work in faith, you've built yourself capacity and everything. Next is you need to sell properties. So these properties, right? How do you verify them? How do you ensure that you are selling the right kind of property to the right kind of people, right? What due diligence processes do you need to go through? And I think the replay of that section is still on the YouTube channel. So the anatomy of sales. First is you. So my name is Jeff. That's me. Big head. I like my big head. It means I have sense, lot of sense. Next is property, right? The land or house, I mean landed property. If you're following, please let me know you're following in the comments. Beautiful. I can see the ones and twos and fire emoji. Amazing. Right? Please, I would like to also know where you're joining us from. If you're joining online, I'd like to know where you're joining from. For those here, of course, you're joining us from Enugu. Right? So we're online. I'd like to know where you're joining us from. It's imperative we know where you are joining from. Right? So Jacinta dealt with this very well. She did a very good job at, showing us the way, how, what to do, what steps to take to ensure that the critical factors that will affect your sales here is dealt with. Right? I did this. And then today, next thing. So after stepping out as a realtor, and then you find the right property or houses or lands, houses or lands for your clients. What next? Next, you need to go do what? Promote it, right? So you started out as a realtor, then you got a property. The next, you go to what? Promote it. So how do you promote it? I'm going to use this as promotion. Make sense? What's this called? Megaphone, okay. Aha, you know what I'm talking about. Right? So the next is to promote it. Awesome. Jinosu is joining from Enugu. Henry is joining from Enugu. Kachi, is good to have you here. Everybody is good to see you. Right? So there are different ways we do this promotion. We'll delve into that in a moment. And this is where we're going to cover today. After this is what? Who knows? Who remembers our sales anatomy? You said what? Eh? Closing. Okay, good. This is where they call you slash site inspections. So when you promote, next is people now call you now, right? They reach out to you. Oh, I saw your advert, blah, 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 blah. Please, I'd like to come. They want to validate, they want to inspect, which is a very critical part of sales inspection, right? They want to inspect what they saw you promote. Either you told them word of mouth one-on-one or you promoted it online, right? And then next is what? This can go two ways. After inspection, two things will happen. Will, one, I should have used the red marker here. Two, I can draw. I sabi draw. Let me use red here to show the criticalness. So either this will happen or this will happen. This one will be blue. Blue is positive, I mean. So either this will happen or this will happen, right? So this means, right? And this means, Abi? So either they buy or they don't. Now, we're going to talk about this part in the next series. And here, we're going to deal with the question a lot of people ask that how do I make, I hear that question a lot. How do I make this guy pay? Right? I hear a lot of people say, I have this client that is very, very serious. Oh, Diego, Jeff, he has money and he wants to buy this property. And then I ask them, so why hasn't he paid? And they go, I don't know how to make him pay. So we're going to deal with that, how to make you pay in the next episode, right? In the next part. But today, we're dealing here. So after this happened, what's next? If this happens, what happens? You go back here and start again, Abi. You go back here to this promotion and continue, right? Some will quit here and it's okay. It's still okay. Then here, what happens? So what happens after this? Documentation, which is another critical part of property sales, Abi? Very critical part of property sales. After that is what? Allocations. And after that, possession. We dealt with this critically in Realtor School. And if you've been a student of ours for a while, you should know this by now. In fact, if you're sleeping and they ask you, what's the sales anatomy? You should be able to state it clearly. It shows that you are in the business, because as a realtor, if you spend a while in the business, you're going to go through this cycle over and over again. Okay. All right. So these are the steps of a sale. But today, like I said, we're just going to deal with. Can I clean? You can go on, Abi. We're going to stick to promotions today, which is the part 3. What are the critical factors that affect your sales when it comes to promoting your property? Promotions. Okay, I'd like to know we're all following. Good. I can see all the comments in the comment section. Well done, guys. So the third part of the series and the third part of the sales anatomy is what? Promotion. Abi? Promotion. Now, sales is the backbone of real estate. If you build a very beautiful mansion now, you're into the business of real estate, and you've done all the parts and put all the gang things, automation, you clap, lights on, you kick, the house turn green. You walk down the stairs, you're climbing the stairs, all the lights are doing ping, 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 and all those things. But the goal of doing that thing was to make money. business, like Jessica said in one of our trainings, the goal of a business is what? Cash flow. You need to make money. Abi? That's it. If you don't make money, you're running a charity organization. You're not running a business, right? And even charity organizations, they need money to function. So they just name them non-profits for those that are not that say they are not making profits. So they just name them what? Non-profit, but they still need money to function, right? So 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 the goal at the end of the day is to sell your property, sell your lands. And I noticed that because of the fact that a lot of people in quote run away from sales and marketing, there are a lot of properties for sale and very few good genuine marketers that can sell them, right? And this is why we run this type of training. This is why we try to equip realtors with the requisite knowledge and mindset to sell, because you need the both, not just head knowledge, right? So promotion is a critical part of this whole thing. So by the time you've declared yourself a realtor, part one, part two, you've gotten all the lands and houses and everything to sell, right? This is where a lot of people get stuck, right? Now, there are two basic ways to promote. Am I going too fast? Two basic ways. The first is to go and knock on doors. Knock on doors. And the next is to attract. I use the word attract. The doors. So these are like the major two ways to sell. Go knock on doors, and the next is what? To attract doors. Now, how do you knock on doors? You knock on doors through things like prospecting, through making calls. I have a friend of mine that when she began real estate, there's a strategy she used, and it got her her first sale, which I think still pays her till date, because the sale she went ahead to get a building contract, and that building contract paid her big time, right? How did she do it? When she began, because I always say that the sales is a game of numbers. Business generally is a game of numbers. Sales particularly is a game of numbers, and we're going to deal with that soon, right? So what she did was she decided to call all the numbers on her phone. All. I mean, the first day she called over 130 something people. Like she just sat down in the morning after eating and everything, praying, and began to make calls. Make call. The next day she continued again. Make call. Then at the end of exhaustion, of course, once you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in real estate," the plan for her strategy, according to her, was to let as many people as possible know that she's into this. Maybe not necessarily a sale, but to just put herself out there to at least her warm and hot audience. You know what warm and hot audience are by now, right? Beautiful. So she did that after exhausting her own core contacts, which of course a lot of people will say, "Oh, I'll get back to you." She asked her father his own contact list, and it was, I think, a few calls into her father's contact list that she got her first client. The client, she called the person, of course, introduced herself and everything, and then the client, of course, told her let him get back to her, something like that. Called the father and said, "This person, is it from you?" The father said yes, right? And of course, the guy went ahead to buy property. I was involved in the sales of that particular property, right? And of course, he now gave her a big contract, very big contract from there. Now, that was what? Knocking on doors. That's knocking on doors. So you're going after the people, right? That's the first way to market. So this can comprise of either physical knocking on doors or inbox knocking on doors. When you call people, when you send people personal messages, or all those customized prospecting messages, they are what? Knocking on doors. So they're on their own, and you went to them and knocked on their door and said, "Please, oh, you go buy Igazu Konazu." Do you get, like, will you buy or will you not buy? I will buy. Okay, fine. See the price. I will not buy. On to the next, right? That's knocking on doors. Number two is attracting the doors. Now, I just use the doors for the sake of rhyming. I'm smart, I mean. How can you attract door? Just imagine this door coming to you, right? But I mean, you understand what I'm saying, right? So, attracting the doors. Now, how do you attract the doors? And this is what a lot of us do, right? Because it seemed to be the this seemed to be easier, put your content online. Of course, just creating content, putting it out there, hoping that someone reaches out to you, right? And hoping that you have the right content to attract the right kind of people, basically, and then and right. So that's what attracting the doors are. For some other people that do offline kind of marketing, all those they create flyers, go and drop it in your car windscreen. I see that a lot in church, in my church. Almost every Sunday when you come out, there's a different flyer on your door handle and on your windscreen, right? You raise your wiper, put it in, or put on your door, because you must open your door and you see it, which is a good strategy in my opinion. Right, then that's flyers, billboards, right? What else? One-on-one marketing. So you go to people's offices or prospects. You feel like, okay, this person can afford a property, right? You go to the person, oh, I'm Jeff and Jose, I sell this, I want to help you build your personal economy using landed properties, that kind of thing, right? That is okay. That's knocking on doors. That's knocking on doors. I'm talking about attracting the doors. So billboard, flyers, etc. So when people even wear shirts, t-shirts that carries like what Fuchs is wearing, is what attracting the door. Abi, amazing. So these are basically the two ways to. These are basically the two ways that you sell. Abi, you promote. Awesome. Now, there are a few factors that affect each of these way, and of course we did a broad training in realtor school where we talked about the search interruption quadrants, and I've taught it here before in one of our trainings, search interruption quadrant. And Josh taught us last 2 weeks about naming your framework. So I decided to name this one SIPA, the SIPA framework. So the search interruption, I'm not going to go into this today. Search interruption, what? Active, passive. So the A, B, C, D. How many of us remember this? Online, I would like to know if somebody remembers this. Okay. All right, we're flowing. Okay. So, this framework, largely tells, the right kind of people to attract, etc., etc. However, we're not going to go into that today. We talked about that in Realtor School. For those that have attended Realtor School, they know search interruption quadrant. And of course, I've taught it here a couple of times. Now, let's just go right into it and talk about 3 major factors that affect our promotion. Are we still following? Do you have questions so far? This is just introduction. I think it's quite explanatory. Abi? Promotion, 2 ways, knocking on doors and attracting the doors, right? Now, what are the factors that affect promotion? Because in today's section, we're trying to dissect critical factors that affect our real estate sales, and we're in part 3. Part 3 is promotion, right? So what are the critical factors that affect our promotion? We're going to talk about 3. There are a couple of them, but for the sake of today's section, which is just, I think, less than 2 hours, so we'll talk about 3. The first, in my opinion, which is the most, in my opinion, too, is something called the imposter syndrome. Right? This is number 1. Let me just list 3 of them and then we explain. Right? Number 2 is fear of failure. sometimes too the fear of success. Fear of success is a thing. How many of us know that? It's a thing. Can I handle it? If this happens now, can I handle it? Right? If a client tells me now that, okay, Jeff, see 100 million, oh yeah, let's go and buy a property. Can I handle it? That's fear of what? Success. Right? So then number three is not enough leads. Let me use insufficient leads. Insufficient leads. You know, right? Potential buyers are called leads. Potential buyers are called leads. Potential buyers are called leads. Now, let's deal with the first part. I think one of the most, especially when it comes to real estate, this is one of the most the most critical factor that affects a lot of people's sales in real estate. Now, the imposter syndrome simply is a feeling. Can I wipe? I can, right? Online, can I wipe? I'm wiping already. Right? The imposter syndrome is simply a feeling of inadequacy. Just feel inadequate, or you feel like a fraud. You feel like you're someone, you feel like you're acting like someone you're not supposed to act like. Even when, and most especially when you actually qualify. So I remember 2018, I started training people on internet marketing. Like I started training small business owners on how to market their properties online, especially using social media. And I remember a few people called me one time and said that what I mean, these few people, I mean, I can't even remember two of them, right? That called me then and asked me something like, what even made me feel like yeah, I can teach this thing? Like what business? So they were trying to imply that I should show them businesses I've tried to run using this method I am teaching that has succeeded, right? Right. And sincerely, for another 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, I didn't say Pakam online again. I withdrew into my shell. The shell itself small. So inside this small shell, I did not come out again. If you send me messages that time, I will not even answer you. The feeling of imposter syndrome was strong in my. You can feel it. If you pass me, just at that point, right? Now, reminds me of a story of a class, a class where these guys, fresh guys into school, it was a sociology class in one university. It's actually an abroad university. I heard the story from a market actually. And then the class, they came in the first day, sat down waiting for their teacher. Remember, they're going to write an exam at the end of the section, right? They're going to write a project, right? And then they came in, sat down, waited for their teacher. He didn't come day one. Day two, he didn't come. By day three, somebody stood up from the back of the class and walked to the front, held a pen, just like I'm doing right now, and you all are looking at me, right? And started to teach. He wrote chapter 1. He talked about chapter 1 that day. Everybody enjoyed the class. I mean, it's good to come to school and actually learn, right? I mean, that's why we're all here. That's why those online are online, right? Because they want to learn. And so day one, the guy came, he taught. Day two came. Day two again, this same professor did not show up. This same guy stood up from the back of the class and walked to the front of the class and taught again. Day three, the same thing. By the end of the semester, right? Everybody sat down for exam, right? They came for exam. Of course, you know how, I mean, if you've schooled in Nigeria, what I'm saying will resonate with you. You must write the exam. And you know what? 2 weeks of the exam, they'll now bring you handouts that are like this. And tell you that chapter 2, 3, 3, and 4 are areas of When I to go local school for here, right? And so, guess what happened? That guy that has been teaching them all through the semester sat down in class with them and wrote the same exam with everybody. So everybody was shocked. You know, now they didn't know him. So they felt maybe he's a lecturer assistant or something. Young guy, you know. And then at the end of this section, someone walked up to him. Someone had the courage enough to walk up to him and say, "Guy, how were you able to teach us throughout the section as a student?" And he said, and listen up, he said this. He said, all he needed to do was to read one chapter ahead of the class. That's all. He did not need to be a professor, a lecturer. He didn't even need to know everything. All he just needed to do, right, was to read one chapter ahead. So what that means is the day before the next day, which is a class, he will simply just read the chapter of that next and come to the front of the class and teach it. Remember, he has read it, just that chapter. So if you go beyond the chapter, Otilo. So the guy will quickly just teach that one, I gotta sit down. Tomorrow you gotta read another one. Simple. So all he needed to do was step ahead. And it was in listening to that story that made me then come out of my shell. Remember, the shell was small. So even coming out was a problem. You know, you're coming out from small shell. You know, it was a big problem. Because of two reasons. I'm a shy person and I stammer. So imagine you don't build all the confidence, you don't gym, all the gym, to go and make one speech. And then as you're just walking up the stage, your throat are just here. Imagination one finish now. What will happen? That whole confidence, that whole gymming, that whole you literally see running away. Right? And then somebody just came in your inbox and said, oh, this is where they teach that. What made you? You know? And so these are the small things that cause imposter syndrome. We always feel like we have to know everything first before launching out. We always feel like we have to have all the information. Like I hear a lot of people say, Jeff, I have not learned this thing very, very well. So I don't even know. I am waiting. And you know, interesting thing is you wait, tire. Or even Jeff and Jose that is standing here to teach you. I don't even know. In fact, there are a lot of people that actually invite me to train them that even know more than me. The difference, however, is that the little I know, that page I have read, I'm willing to share it. That's it. And the more I share, you know, if you read or you study or you learn like you're going to teach, right? If you learn like you're going to teach, you will understand better than somebody that is just learning. Right? Yeah, it's true. If you learn like you're, imagine me, studying to come and teach you these things, and I reach halfway and I hang. I say, let me go read again. Right? So what? That can happen. Truly, it can. There are times when you're teaching, you lose your line of thought. If you've ever taught before, you know what I'm talking about. Imagine all these serious eyes looking at you. You know, you lose your line of thought. But that you're studying to teach, right? The difference is clear. So this particular imposter syndrome happens to a lot of people, and it comes with a twin demon called the perfection demon. It comes with it. And so in order for you to feel adequate and feel like you're not a fraud, you'd want to do things perfectly. So you want to read all the books, you want to attend all the courses. I know what I'm talking. I know what I'm talking about because I've been there, done that. I have a medal. Right? You want to attend all the courses, you want to read all the books, you want to make sure that you know everything, even before you even start doing anything, you can state yourself. Right? So that's another twin demon. In fact, like I tell my people, is an advanced form of procrastination. Yes, trying to be perfect or do things perfectly is an advanced form of procrastination, because you would never get perfect till you do it. No, you will never. right? So it's in doing it, the more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you do it and fail, I'm not saying you're not going to fail, you're going to fail. You're going to, I remember my first live video. In fact, I see that video sometimes. I left it online intentionally. My first live video, I talk, lost my line of thought, and I yawned. Stammer won't finish me in that video. Right? But guess what? The next day, I showed up again. Did it again. Next day again, I showed up again. Currently, I can do a live video for 2 hours without a note. Why? I have done it a lot of times. All right? So I believe that one of the first things that happens is to us that hinders or critical factors that affect our promotion is imposter syndrome. Now, a brief history. I like to watch epic movies a lot. You know all those movies where they used to tie animal skin, the whole arrow, you know? That kind of movies. I like to watch them a lot because it tells us about the beginning. So in studying the brain, you understand that your brain basically is built for survival. Back in the time, you needed to survive. You needed, one of the critical factors that helps you survive is living in communities. Until date, we are beings of communities, but it was more pronounced then. That's why people say things like no man is an island, right? And of course, what if iron sharpeneth iron, as the Bible says, right? So we're beings of communities of people, right? But back in the time, you must live in colony. One of the ways to survive and live long, you have to have a colony, a community, because things like wild animals live in the wild. So if you're plenty, if you watch Nat Geo Wild a lot, like I watch Nat Geo Wild a lot, so when you see lion trying to attack its prey, it likes to single out one. The strength of a lion, in fact, lion, you know that normally a lion cannot attack a herd, except it singles out one. So sometimes they look for the weak person, the weak animal in that herd, right? Distract the person away from the rest, then attack. Or single out one person. And so there are two things you learn there. First, that community thing shields them. Number two, focus. And as their eye is on that one, even if they are more close to them, they will pursue that one until they kill the one. Right? Back in the time, it was the same as humans. You had to live in communities so that wild animals do not kill you, right? You have to live in communities so that harsh weather conditions do not finish you. Just wake up in the morning and it all freeze to death. Right? So imagination. So you have to live in communities, right? Now that was back in the time. Fast forward to 2024, we still have that mindset. And so most times we want to be accepted, and to live in communities, you have to be accepted by that community. You have to follow their rules and regulations. You have to act in a certain way. You have to, if you see all this, and even till date, if you see all these very primitive communities, you see that almost all of them look alike. If all of them wear big earrings, all of them wear the same type of earring. If all of them do all this, their neck something, all of them, you have to behave, act, and talk in a certain way to belong to a certain community. Until date, it still affects us. And so, whilst growing up, you had all these primary school mates, you had all these secondary school mates. And one of the things that happens to us now is that truly, you outgrow a couple of them. That's a fact. Bishop Oyedepo said 20 children cannot play together for 20 years. Okay? But that mindset of colonies and communities is still in us. Our brain, like I always say, is not wired for success per se, it's wired for survival. And it is a survival technique to live in communities, to be accepted by, colonies. And so you decide to step out now. So all of you, primary school, secondary school, been growing up, doing your thing. I mean, looking for a job. All of you were all in the race of job. I remember in my NYC, I submitted 500 applications. Of course, I got the job. at the end of my NYC. But my goal was not to go. I did not have a background, so we couldn't even go back to the background. We needed to get a job. From NYC, I needed to escape life. So I wrote 500 applications. The first thing I wake up every morning to do then was to send an application. I attended more than maybe 25 job interviews during my 1 year. Lagos and Abuja majorly. Finally, I got a job in Enugu. I mean, that's how I'm in Enugu, right? So then I had these colleagues that we used to inspire ourselves together. So if we do cover letter, then we'll all come and look at it together. I mean, many of you had that? Just me, Abby? Hey, only me. Only me. So we had this. So I remember when I quit my job then, 2015 or so, 16, here in Enugu. And then all those other people, it was at that point I realized that they began to even literally avoid me. Because it now feels like, oh, this guy wants to now come and depend on us. All of them were doing some jobs, bank, all those things. And it's now me that decided to quit and now pursue what they call entrepreneurship. They feel like entrepreneurship is you're just a jobless person. Especially when you work from home. Even your neighbors, if something is missing in the compound, they'll come and look for you. Come and knock on your door. Jeff, sorry, not Jeff. Right? So I remember that period. It was, so we've all had that kind of thing, right? Where you decide to go a certain way, and then come to you and be like, what are you trying to, you want to real estate? That kind of thing. That's on one side. On one side, it's trying to still belong to that community, that colony. On the other side, which is now where the imposter syndrome now comes into play, is when you don't feel adequate enough to attract or reach that next level, that kind of client you're trying to reach. You don't know how to walk up to a gentleman like this and tell him that I'm selling property. The struggle is real, because I remember the first day after training in Royal Exchange, I went to go and market Royal Exchange insurance. And I've told the story before, I walked into an office with my shoulder pad. My shoulder pad was somewhere here. So it was really high, And they pumped you with motivation. You can do it. Go. Just tell them. So the first thing they told us then is to look around the room and look for something to compliment the person. They call it an icebreaker. Use that one to compliment the person. Then now introduce the thing. So I walked into this man's office. He was on the call. And he goes, And then when he ended the call, and I said, sir, your wife is beautiful. I don't even know if his wife or babe or something, Your wife is beautiful. The guy said, young man, why are you here? The guy did not even smile. And I just remembered my coach then in that Real Exchange. You can do it. In my head. And I told him, sir, I'm Jeff Anozie, and I am here to, tell you about our insurance. My friend, will you get out? My goodness, it was as if they used needle. That balloon, they used needle. Everything just went out. Like I literally trekked back to the house, laid down my bed, and cried. Right? So it's valid. That fear, that concern, right, is valid, right? However, it is a part of the process. That's the point I'm trying to make. First, I think one of the ways to get out of this imposter syndrome thingy, or to get out of the feeling of not feeling adequate enough, is to first admit it. Admit it. There are triggers in life, there are things that happen to you that make you withdraw. So you want to promote, you want to do, for instance, a 5-day life challenge, for instance, or a 30-day life challenge. You want sales challenge. You want to promote yourself and your services for a couple of period of time. And you know that one of the channels in which you can do this is online. It's one of the easiest, fastest channel, of course, for obvious reasons. You can reach out to people that otherwise you wouldn't have reached out to one-on-one. That's the obvious reason. Okay. And so you decide to do this, but then sometimes you find yourself holding back. As a matter of fact, you're on your phone now, check your phone. There are like 22 and a half videos created that you've never posted. Normal. Me too, I have. Guilty. Yes, happens. I remember the first video I put out ever. I think I did that video more than maybe 25 or 30 times. Do delete, do delete, do delete, do delete. Finally, the one that I even posted says, even the one they now casted that, why are you talking like water inside your mouth? People can be harsh. And one of my cousins literally even told me that, but you know you're a stammerer now. You can't be doing this type of thing. Yeah, yes. I think, I think he was sincerely just caring for me. Doesn't want to see me embarrassed. I can't come on social media. I want to. So, in his opinion, these things are cut out for a certain kind of people and not a certain kind of people. And I feel that's one of the things that help holds people down. So sometimes you don't feel like you speak good English, or you don't feel like you talk sorry like love it, or you don't feel like you have the phone. You don't feel like you have the looks. Do you get? All those things contribute. Then to top it up is now this feeling of colonies, communities. Oh, what would my friends say? What would my relatives say? Like that, my relative that literally came to my inbox, or people that feel like, I know you now. Which time you begin to sell 10 million naira house? Do you get? How many of you have experienced all those kind of people? They may not tell you in person, no, but just come in box and say, which one is this one again? you know? And they insinuate that I know you still leave it now and go to another one. That's the insinuation usually. Do you get? Now, all those things come together to form this. I think one of the ways to curb it or get out of this, there are like a few ways. But I'll take it a step at a time. I feel like the first thing to do is to identify those triggers. What are the things that normally will make you hold back? What are the things that normally, if you think about, you will just quit? What are the people? I'll tell you what I did. Not left for you. For me, I identified each and every one. I started with that my cousin. I blocked him everywhere. WhatsApp, I think today, I don't think he sees my status, and I don't care. Facebook, Instagram, blocked everywhere. Reason is simple. When I did chew kwakwa, who knows what kwakwa is? Who grew up in the north? Nobody. You know what kwakwa is? Like when you're suffering, you know how they used to grind pankane to drink gari, and that's like your best meal for the day. When that is happening, those people are not there. They don't care really, right? And so for me, I identified the triggers. I noticed there are people, a certain kind of people that I like to feel among with, right? That whenever I think about them, I will not post again. Analysis paralysis will set in. I begin to analyze the video or the content and say, Kai, if I post this thing now, this thing. Do you get? I identified them. It took me a while, but of course, thanks be to God, some of them started showing themselves by themselves. They started coming to my inbox. Some of them started calling me on the phone. I remember one of my relatives then started telling me things like, the day they catch you in Enugu, you're not from there. You be on that place. Your siblings are not out there. The day they catch you, arrest you. Thankfully, they started with their hands. So it was for me to, and thanks to Mark Zuckerberg, the block button is very active. It doesn't even notify the person. So, point I'm trying to make, please identify those triggers. It's very important. That's number one. Number two, always try to remember your why. Your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? It's very important. When your why is weak, with a small storm, you will just quit. And there are some things you can't even avoid. In the process of growth, there are some things you can never avoid. They will come. There are some obstacles and roadblocks that you can't just avoid, right? So identifying your why is important. It's very important because it helps you in strengthening why you're doing what you're doing, right? So remind yourself and always remember your why. Number 3 is to take action irrespective. Now, before taking action, let me state this here first. Look for models. Look for models. Look for models. So one of the things I did in that my early stages when I used to feel this imposter thing, even in real estate. I remember of course, I learned when I was doing my social media agency that one of the ways to grow and grow fast, especially when you're leveraging the internet to build a business or a career or whatever, is to look for people that have done what you're doing. They've passed the road in which you're trying to pass, right? Simply just look for them. Then trace what they have done. They said success leaves what? Clues. Success leaves what? Clues. It leaves footprints, right? So go back to where they started. I remember then I saw this guy, Ryan Sehant. There's this American realtor. I think he's one of the best in the world. Then he used to be number 3 in the world. Currently, I mean, after he opened his agency a few years ago, I think he became number 1. In fact, he's the most followed realtor in the world, right? Ryan Sehant. So I stumbled on one of his content then. So of course, I was looking for models, people that have gone through that path, both in Nigeria and abroad, because our real estate marketing system here is a bit different from there, right? So I needed to see the both and see how I can draw inspiration. You know how they beat your inspiration finish, no day again. You now want they look for person own to plug, to connect you so that I can tap small current. And so I looked for Ryan Sehant then, and I went back to some of his videos in early days. He started in 2008. At the time he started was when there was a recession in the US. The Lehman Brothers, in fact, according to him, the day he started was the day the Lehman Brothers had just folded up. They've declared bankruptcy. That was like the wrongest time to start real estate at the time. And his father, he's not really he has a background, unlike some of us that do not have background, right? So he has a stable, an average American family is stable. So his father then wanted him to join the family business. They have this ranch. He's from Texas. So they have this ranch then, and father wanted him to join. But he said no, he wants to go and he came to America, he came to New York to start out a filming business. He started out as a movie, as an actor. But of course, he failed out of it. He failed after a few, they kicked him out. He decided to go and be a hand model. In fact, that was the first time I heard that something like hand model. You're modeling with hand. Here we know face model, have you? Hand model. So after that one, he failed too. It did not work. So he decided to be an agent. So he decided to go to coffee shops to look for people that are looking for houses. He started as a rental agent, right? Looking for houses to rent and all of that. Of course, long story short, point I'm trying to draw from that story was that he also had that kind of beginning. Okay. Another person here in Nigeria was Olisa Omera. So Olisa, how many of you know symbolic real estate? He's in Lagos. So Olisa was one of the models too I saw. There are a couple of them, but these are the people I saw. So I went to Olisa's. Now, the reason Olisa was a good model for me was because in marketing, I've taught this a couple of times here in our class. In marketing does not begin when you carry flyer product people. Marketing begins when you down to decide a couple of things. First, what am I even marketing? What? Right? Real estate is broad. So you can start from the rental, you can do low cost, properties, you can do mid-range, you can do high-end luxury properties. These are different ranges, right? The mistake I see a lot of realtors do, they jump in and want to do everything at the same time. Everywhere belle face. If they say it's rent today, they go. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that you will burn out fast. because you don't even know what niche you're playing in. You're just everywhere. Okay, so one of the where marketing starts is deciding what you're even selling. So if you decide that, okay, I want to do mid-range, I want to do, let's say, high-end. Unfortunately, in places like Enugu, we don't have a lot of high-end, right? We don't have a lot of it. So people come to me and ask me, Jeff, where can I see plenty finished houses to sell? I'm like, go to Lagos. Simple. So you see that understanding what you're selling helps you even find your location. Some people will write, I sell everywhere in Nigeria. How? Do you know houses in Kanu? So understanding what is the beginning of marketing, right? What is it I'm selling? Next is who am I selling this what to? It's not everybody that buys real estate, it's your clients. You will find out soon enough, but the earlier you find out, the better. Yes, you will find out soon enough. When some people are not calling you, some other kind of people are calling you. Why? Because your messaging is scattered. You don't even know who you're sending the messages to. Next thing, you see one guy in, let me not call the name of it. One guy somewhere will just send you a message and say, Daniel, I beg, you get 50K land. I want to pay for 2 years. And you'll be wondering, am I cursed? God, am I a tree? No, it is you. Your messaging is wrong. You're targeting the wrong audience. You don't even know who the audience is. Do you understand? Now, next, now that I know what I'm selling, who I'm selling it to, how do I get this what to this who? Is that not it? So how do I effectively get this product I'm selling to this person I'm selling it to? This thing I'm explaining to you now is marketing. Sitting down to draft this thing, understand it, build a strategy around what you're doing is marketing. Then you now launch out to now implement these things you have drafted out. Now you are marketing. Do you understand? Otherwise, you're just hawking and hoping. And hope is what? Not a strategy. In fact, it's the least form of strategy. And one day you hope. The hope will finish. Hope used to finish. Sure, you know. Hope used to reduce. It has a meter. Who knows what I'm talking about? If you have listened to my class or been in my class where I taught the emotional cycle of change, how many of you have been here before when I taught that? A few of you. You understand that hope finishes, and you also know what to do when your hope finishes. See why you need to be coming to class, have you? As well. One of the ways, like I said, is to, where was I? Look for models. Beautiful. That's where I was. You guys are following. Thank you so much. So look for models. So I was trying to say that one of the reasons I chose the person I chose was because I noticed that his marketing strategy conformed with what I wanted to do. So when I began, my number one target market, there are 4 categories of people that, in my opinion, buy real estate in Nigeria. You know them already, right? The one of them is what? Nigerians abroad, Nigerians in diaspora. In fact, they contribute to 80% of the, more than 80% of the real estate purchases in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, I hear that, let me not go into all of that, but they are one category. And I realized that, of course, after I sat down to design my marketing structure and strategy, and then one of the ways I needed to do this was to use videos. I was new, 2020 ending. I was fresh, new. I didn't even know much about real estate. And so I needed to break into the market. And everybody had told me that, oh, this market is saturated. Oh, every Chinedu, Tom, Dick, and Harry is now doing, hope no, there's no Chinedu here. Okay, Wizzy. Thank God it's Wizzy. Right? So everybody's doing real estate. In fact, when you look for a job 4 times, I did not get. Next thing, they'll go to Fenenugu, you know, Mr. Biggs or First Bank. They just go there, or ESBS. Yes. They don't start real estate with that, right? So everybody was like, why would you now want to do this, right? Considering the fact that, excuse me, please. So considering the fact that So considering the fact that everybody was doing it and it seemed like a saturated market. And so I decided that okay, I'm going to target Nigerians abroad, but I need to get to find them. I need to get them to see me, right? I also need to much more than them seeing me. I also need to present myself as the preferred realtor, right? I need to show them why I am the person they should buy through, right? Buy from, exactly. And one of the strategies was to use videos, talking about videos. Somebody that is a shy person that stammers, how will you now do videos? Anyways, it was one of the easiest. In fact, videos is one of the most underrated yet easiest way to get a client to buy real estate. Who agrees? I feel like you don't even agree, Seth. It's true. It's true, right? There are reasons for it. We're not going to go into that, but I mean, there are reasons for it. And so I started to do videos, and I went online, started looking for Nigerians, young Nigerians like me that started without so much, without even connection, nobody, and started building a real estate career. And this guy was one of the people I saw that was doing the exact strategy I was looking for. He started in 2016. So I went back to his first video, 2016 rather, just after NYC, his NYC. And I began to watch all his videos. I watched all his videos so much so that sometimes when I make videos, I talk like him. In fact, the first day I met him, when I started making money in real estate, I went to Lagos, went to his office and got him a gift. Say, indirectly, you mentored me, but you may not have known, right? And I saw a sample, models. It is easier, in my opinion, to build something when you have seen someone go down that road. So sometimes you can't get a physical mentor or somebody that will hold you by the hand and say, okay, match like this. And that's part of why we began what we were doing here. Because at the time, 2020, there was nobody that was even willing to even share. Yes. Somebody asked me recently, why do you share so much information for free? And I stream online. And I told him that I was looking for it at a point. I did not see. I spend money in streaming these things. But because of one person out there somewhere that was like me, that 2020 ending, or 2021 beginning, I looked, everybody you ask, will say, now God, oh Jeff, just be pushing every morning. You put you in WhatsApp group every morning, carry that thing. And all the content that WhatsApp group is always written urgent, 3 dots, pam, 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 in bold, distress, in bold. Every day, urgent, distress. So after you carry that thing like that, show your status, keep sharing. One day, So at the time, I mean, I wanted to play in Enugu, and I didn't see that kind of thing. And so I went online. So point I'm trying to make is looking for models helps you in this, because most of them, you can see their beginning. You can see where they are now, right? And you can see where they began from. And so in watching that trajectory, sometimes even in their videos and content, they will tell their stories. I remember some of Olisa's early videos, generator noise go day. He used to go to people's offices then to interview them. Like, you're a lawyer now, for instance, or you're a developer. He will come to your office then, and then he will make a video with you. Put his camera, people make videos. I mean, from the camera, maybe it's one techno, one thing like that has rubber band. I mean, I'm just saying, but from the quality, right, and the sound. So you see that already canceled my of mic, iPhone. Do you get? It had already canceled it because I saw somebody doing it, and I had now met him when he began, when I started my own real estate career, and he had now begun his company, and he was building something called the ACES. He's one of the first people that entered Ekpe as at 2020 ending, I'll be 2021 beginning. Then, imagine then, others were talking about Ibejuleki, he was talking about Ekpe at the time. So he had already built the ACES. There were these bungalow houses. They call them holiday houses. I mean, see, I'm explaining it as if it's my business because I studied the guy. Like, we're friends now. We met in Lagos recently and all of that. But point is, I looked for models. A lot of people are so lazy that even there are some questions that they ask you and you're like, but you have something called Google. You have an Android phone, right? And you have something called Google. So much so that they can't, I mean, they are so lazy to even check what the meaning of real estate is. Talk more of going to go and look for, because this requires a lot of research. Do you understand? And one of the ways to curb these things, like I said, is this: looking for models, people that have gone that path. You've seen, you can literally see their footprints, because the beauty about the internet is that it leaves clues. You can literally see people's blueprint from the beginning and model it. I hope that makes sense. I think we're going to stop here today. A recap. We talked about three major factors that affect your promotion, right? And I talked about what again? What and what and what? Imposter syndrome. That's the first thing I started with. Fear of failure and what? Insufficient leads. So we'll probably continue with those other two. Or should we go on? Okay, let me talk about the next. Let me talk about fear of failure. Let me just touch on fear of failure and insufficient leads. I feel like this is like number one. The other two, they are there. But I feel if you can conquer this, the other two, you can always go through with them, right? Next point is fear of failure. We are following, Abi. Are you feeling saturated already? Beautiful. So as I'm talking, I want you to also be having action plans. I mean, there are some things I would say that would, register with you. It's good that you note it down somewhere. So much more than just having notes, it's good to have action plans so that as you leave here today, you start implementing it. Because when you don't implement it, that's perfection syndrome will come in, and then you will not be able to act, right? And if it takes too long, that imperfection too will just be growing. You know what I'm talking about? So please, as soon as possible. Now, the next thing is fear of failure and clean. Again, still stems from the fact that we always want to be seen in a good light. We always want to conform to a community. We always want to be in a certain way. And social media has worsened this thing. They now created things like Snapchat. Some people can never make video except through Snapchat. Why? Because they don't feel like their person is adequate enough, right? They feel like they're not presentable enough, right? Some people can never, put out content without filters. I mean, right? Or now that there's AI. I mean, those things are not bad. To me, they are not bad. However, it's the intent. If you do it because you're hiding one thing, or you feel like you're a failure, you feel like you're not, efficient enough or adequate enough, then that's where the problem is, all right? So the fear of failure is number two reason why fear of failure is number two reason, in my opinion, why people do not effectively promote their business in order to make sales in real estate, right? We've been talking on the series, critical factors that affect your real estate sales. This is part 3, right? We talked about the first one was you as a person. How many of you were in that class 4 weeks ago? Talked about you as a person. Next, Jacinta handled the next class where she talked about the property itself. How do you conduct due diligence enough so that it doesn't affect your sales, right? And today is the third class. Today is the promotion. And we're actually using the sales anatomy model to teach. The first part is you. The first part in the sales anatomy is you. The next part is the property or product you're trying to sell. The third part is the promotion. So now that you have decided to sell a product, you've gotten a product to sell, what do you do next? You go to go and promote it, Abi. The next part is calls and inspection. So clients call you and tell you that they want to go for inspection, right? And so at the end of the inspection, depending on how you go, we have a full episode on Realtor School where we talk about inspections, what to say during inspections, how to act during inspections. A lot of people don't even know what to say in the car. They're confused. They're just quiet or they talk too much. At the end of the day, you irritate the clients and they don't eventually buy because sales happen before you even reach the place. See, you're selling as you're going before you reach the place. So you're priming the clients before you get there. All right. And that's why some people ask me things like, Jeff, how do you sell a bush? You sell a bush by painting the right picture of the bush. Ogola is a bush, is a bush. Don't form is not a bush, or you show somebody somewhere else that is not. Your video is talking about a property and it's not where it is. That's fraud. Right? Me, I'll tell you Hoha is a bush. But I paint a picture. And these are the things we taught in that episode of Realtor School, right? Next is inspection. So at the end of inspection, so either they buy or they don't. If they don't, what happens? That's what we'll teach in the next class, where we'll talk about how to effectively handle rejections and no sale. Because a rejection does not mean the client is not going to buy eventually. Right? And then when they now buy, what next? After they buy is what? Documents. Documentation is a critical part of sales. So you're literally handing the client over his documents, right? After that is what? Allocation, physical allocation. You get to go show the client his boundaries. These are your property. And after that is what? Possession. Right? Possession is the end part of a sale. Your sale does not end when commission enter your account. No. Your sales ends when the client literally takes possession of the land. Someone like me, I take it a step further self. I even go ahead to check the client's property from time to time, especially my clients that are not here. I go there, make a video and tell them that, they are building around your land, though. Come and start your own. You know, that kind of thing. And the client is excited, he's happy. This guy is the correct guy, you know? Expo 101. So, fear of failure. Many people, again, of course, this is a common fear I noticed. They feel like, again, an extension of the imposter syndrome, that I'm not that kind of, I remember my early days in real estate, there's some kind of numbers I hear. 40 million, like when they sold that land opposite Born Sunshine, 200 and something million. I was fortunate to see the people that sold it, right? And I kept looking at this guy, 240 million. So only you now said, how did you? I didn't know the guy one-on-one. So I couldn't, in my head, too many questions. How did you attract this guy that bought, you know that feeling? In my head, there are some people that are cut out for that one. And that's how a lot of people think. When they hear real estate, one of the things that made me join real estate is the figures. All my life. I've never seen someone that remove 100 million once to buy one thing. You are looking at me like it's only me. All my life. That's kind of bad, you know? Right? So one of the reasons I joined real estate is hearing these numbers. Do you get? Exposes you to another side of life. You know? And especially now that everybody's screaming, the people are buying properties every day. So it now makes you wonder, is it that some people are cut out for a different life? You know? And so I noticed that most people at the beginning of their careers, they have that concern. And it's valid, it's legit, right? But the problem now is that it will never go away. It does not go away until you start, involving yourself in the business. What does that mean? You start putting out content. Again, I said earlier that faith, in fact, the fact that you promote your property is a sign of faith. Because there's no guarantees. No guarantees. There's no guarantee that if you promote this property now, somebody will buy. It is not even in your place to guarantee it. And that's why I kind of try to teach clients and realtors that come to me and tell me things like, sir, this guy, I've taken him for inspection. I've called him 3 times. And he said he will buy. How can I now make it? It is not in your place. Poor plants, Apollo's waters, right? Who brings the increase? It's God. It's not in your place. What is in your place is the planting and watering. Do you understand? It is not in your place. And that's why the next part is no sufficient lead. Sometimes this is what even makes you want to kill yourself on one client. Client tell you, hi, you will call this client till the client block you. And this is a problem. That's why some prospects not even want to ask you how much. Once they ask you, right? So fear of failure simply is that concern which is genuine that it may not work. Truth is, everybody has it, even the best of the best. They do have it. The difference, however, some people's faith is bigger. That's all. And of course, they've fortified themselves earlier. Like I said, I thought in the first series, you as a person, mindset is very important. Your approach to the business is very important. The way you even approach clients, some people approach clients as transaction. For me and for high flyers, we approach clients as relationships. In my early days of business, I have lost commissions. I will tell you one. There's a deal I did then. We sold 3 plots of a property. My commissions was 1.250 million. Then that was I think around June 2021. And this woman's sister, so the woman's sister too is an agent. You know what I'm talking about? You know why I did agent, I mean? Obo agent. Now the client, she lives in UK. She jumped her sister, of course, and called me. I mean, there's a reason for that. Remember, I said one of my goals is to be the preferred person. It should be a goal. You cannot force people to bring out money to buy from you, but you can become the preferred realtor. There are strategies to it, right? And so the woman called me, and when she called me, of course, long story short, we closed the deal. Now, she told me that, of course, she has already told her sister before to help her look for a property. She saw my advert, she called me. Of course, we met a few months later when she came to Nigeria, but as I there, we did not meet. This woman now insisted that herself, so now my client now is like the last born, she's the firstborn. So one of her first arguments to me and Daniel was that the woman grew up in her house. So it's her that will share the commission for all of us. For real. If you experience clients' relatives, it will shock you. The kind of things they say will shock you. That was the first argument. Okay, so long as you share it equally, no problem, you can share. 2 days later, the day we were even about to make the day she was about to make the payment, she now brought her son and another of their sister. That 3 of them are now inside the deal. Long story short, I let it go. Everybody then was like, Jeff, he said, Lion, come on, leave this money. The deal are yasa. That's what everybody literally told me. But for me, my mindset is different. A client is a client. See, once a client gains trust with you, once a client buys a property successfully through you, you may not struggle for sale again through that client. And guess what? The client, depending on how influential, which you don't even know how influential they are, they can link you up with 10 other people. And by virtue of the trust that client has built with you, these ones are a walk in the park. Sometimes they will not even ask you one question. Clear the account. It has happened to me. I have a lot of clients in Australia because of one guy. We made that sale. I didn't even make a lot of money from the sale. The guy linked me up with all these people. Told them to call me. They call me directly. It's not like he will call me, talk to them, call me. No. They just give them my number. They'll call me. Oh, Onya, you give them the number. Kebe, where did he buy? I also want to buy. Simple. So you see that my mindset about this thing is different. For me, is relationship. That first transaction, so many people die on top because of the scarcity mindset. They don't believe that more will come. And that's the typical mindset of an agent. Typical. You die on top that one, especially inspection fee. You die on top it. Right? So mindset is very important, right? And that helps you over time know that, okay, fear of failure, like I said, is normal. And so overcoming it is basically just going ahead to do it, right? We understand that point. Next is no leads. Little or no leads. Let me add little. And I will close with this. Little or no leads. That story I told you about, at the end of the day, the 1.250 million was divided into 4. But the client bought again. And that her sister did not now know when the client bought, because she didn't have to investigate me again. She just simply told me that, guess what? I didn't even advertise it. Somebody advertised it. She screenshotted it and sent to me. Jeff, go and investigate this one for me. I want to buy. Transaction happened. Jeff whistled to the bank. And everybody was happy. Right? So that, for me, repeat sales is more important than that first sale. Just know this. Know this and know peace. Now, third point is little or no leads. Three major reasons why promotion is hard. Three major reasons why people don't do well when it comes to promotion. Three major reasons why, three major critical factors that affect your promotions. Little or no leads. I will state this, and this is random. It's not accurate, but it's random. But this is a principle I operate in. To make one sale, especially for us that literally deal with cold audience, 98% of my clients did not know me from anywhere. In fact, more than 80% of that 98 I have never seen. Right? So I deal majorly with cold audience. And of course, I taught in some classes ago, where I talked about the three types of audience: warm, hot, and cold, right? How many of you were here? You were here that class. Beautiful. I told you that one of the reasons why cold audience are better is because they are infinite. Hot, warm audience, you will finish. How many calls, how many numbers do you have in your phone? How many people do you possibly know in your life that can buy real estate? Let me add that. But cold audience, do you know there are 8 billion people in the world? So they are infinite. The ability to just get them to see you, that's all you need, right? So to make one sale, you need like 10 people to come for inspection. Inspection means, now this is from a sales principle called AIDA. Attraction, what? Interest, desire, action, right? AIDA. So let me start with the A here. Action, this is the A, last A, which is sales, somebody that took action. Abi? Desire, 10 people have to literally desire that thing. Abi? Which one is next? Interest. 100 people will show interest. Attraction, you attract like 1,000 people. This is a principle I use in selling. That's no matter how many leads I have per time, I don't feel like I have enough. And I think one of the downsides for me of this thing, of using this model, is that my follow-up level needs to be strengthened, because I barely focus on follow-ups, which is, I'm not saying it's good. Follow-ups are very good. It's good to follow up. But for me to follow you up, right, it means that you've jumped into this category, because I literally use more of attraction marketing. I use more of positioning myself out there for people to find me. And my goal by every sale is to get at least 1,000 people to see that I sell real estate. Not enough leads. Now, if you look at this formula, you now see that for a lot of you, your attraction level is like maybe 20. This whole month, there's only 20 people. Maybe if you do one-on-one marketing, like you knock on doors, like we said earlier, maybe just 20 people that have known that you sell real estate this month alone. Right? If you now follow this strategy, how many sales do you think you will have? I like the answer. Yes, sales is a game of numbers. Note this. Business generally is a game of numbers. The more people that come across your products and service, the more your chance of making a sale. Simple. And that is why I believe one of the biggest gifts God gave us is the internet, social media in particular. Because you can literally sit in your room here and promote your business to someone in Japan, which otherwise you may never have met. Right? So, leveraging this formula, you see that most times One of the problems we have in promoting our products is little or no leads. Some people feel like they over promote. I don't know how you feel like that. If you feel like that, it means that there's a trigger. Remember, I talked about trigger in imposter syndrome. There's a trigger that makes you feel like that. There are people in your contact list that probably you feel you're promoting too much to. And that's a negative thing. That's a bad thing. That's not good for your business. There's never anything like enough promotion. Coca-Cola, who doesn't know Coke in the world? Do you know they still promote? They still sponsor events. They still adverts. You still see their CNN. If you watch CNN a lot, you see the adverts. Do you understand? There's no such thing as what? Over promotion. If you ever feel like you over promote to your audience, whether WhatsApp, whether Facebook, then there's a problem. There's a trigger there that is making you feel less of yourself or inadequate, or you're doing too much. Usually, when you're in a community of people that you do better than, or you tend to do better than, you always feel like you're doing too much. You need to get out of that community immediately. They're not doing you any harm. If you're ever in a community where you're better than everybody there, it will not take long. You become like them. It won't be long. It's fact. It's a fact. It's not even, because there are levels you get to. Now you see other people in a certain level and you'll be like, I did joke, like I'm playing. If you feel like you promote too much, when you see other people that promote, you'll be like, I am kidding. Right? So for me, this is a formula to guide yourself by. If you can always focus on getting at least, if you want to make, for instance, you want to make 2 sales in a month, what do you need to do? Who knows? Based on this, target getting at least 2,000. So even if you're bad at closing, see, if your leads game is good and you're bad at closing and follow up, you still make sales. That was my focus in the beginning part of my business. I didn't know a lot of people, and people did not know me. So what I did was to focus on this. I went on a journey to make 100 videos in 90 days. Make and promote 100 videos in 90 days. By the first month, I had done 23 or so, 24 videos by the first month. When I say videos, I mean long form videos. It's now said that they have reels and shorts. Then there was no reels and shorts. 2021 January, no reels and shorts. So it was long form videos, and I was using YouTube as my major source of leads. So imagine YouTube videos. I mean, real estate, people thought I was crazy, but I had seen a model. That was it. Plus, I understood this leads game. So I knew that I will break the internet. I will break through the internet if I get enough people to see me over a period of time. And that was it. So period of time is a keyword, because you can do 1,000 videos in 10 years. Right? You've not crashed your sales. Your sales will not, to not come like that. But if you do it within a period of time, I'm not saying you should do 1,000 videos, please. I'm just saying that get at least, your target should be at least getting 1,000 people to get to see that you sell this thing as often as possible. Then you have almost a guaranteed one sale. See, I can almost hit my chest and say it's guaranteed. The problem, at least. This is just a formula. For some people, it could be less. So if you're very good at your closing skills, you're very good at your conversation skills, all those things play a part, right? But I'm talking about a novice, like you don't have closing skills. You're just new in real estate. You don't have follow-up skills. This formula can literally get you your first 10 sales within a short period of time. It happened to me. And it happened to a couple of other people I have trained. Okay? So, 3 things. First, imposter syndrome is one of the biggest factors that hold us down. The fear of the feeling of not adequate, not sufficient, or feeling like a fraud, feeling like you don't belong, right? Is first. Second is fear of failure. The third is little or no leads. Do you have any questions as we close here? Let me not overwhelm you. We'll continue next week. Continue the part 4 of this next week. Oh no, next week I won't be around. Yeah. Buyers. Or people that buy real estate. Who knows them? Who knows the remaining 3? If you've been in my class, you should know it. Okay, you're trying. Homeowners. Somebody say homeowners. Home buyers. Somebody say home buyers. Okay. You know it already. So the first are investors. Now, this is my opinion from my analysis. Second are homeowners or home buyers. I will explain it briefly. Third are cash protectors. And of course, it's just names. So I mean, I'll explain it. Explanation will make more sense. Diasporans. Diaspora. You know what diasporans means now? People that traveled out and hope to come back. Diasporans. Now, investors. These are people that buy, underdeveloped properties, usually for profit making. Usually, they buy to sell. Some people call them speculators. All right, they buy to sell. So they buy very, very underdeveloped places, put value on it, right, and then resell. Investors. What are the major things these guys are looking for in a property? Return on investments. That's all. Profits. They don't care how fine, how far, how close, so long as the return is guaranteed. Then homeowners. These are people that maybe have worked all their lives and feel like, okay, they have retired now. They don't want to live in a rented apartment again. These are like PAMSEC VCs. People that feel like 35 years of work. I don't want to try. I might go get my own house. I don't want to be a landlord again. Homeowners. Or some very rich young guys. I feel like I can afford a house. Which kind of landlord would they call me? Homeowners. So they basically look for properties in developed areas where they can buy and build so that they can move in immediately, that kind of thing, to live in their own house. Cash protectors. These are people that, in my opinion, they're divided into 2 parts. The first part are people that are financially intelligent. You understand the time value of money. You understand depreciation. You understand the valuation of the naira. You understand that inflation is a real thing. Inflation in Nigeria is over 25%. It used to be 20%. Currently, it's like 25%. So what that means is that what you can buy today for 1 million, by this time next year, it will be less than 800,000. Do you get? And also the valuation means that your 1 million today sits in the bank by 1 year's time is less than 800,000. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So they try to protect their money. These are people that majorly do things like land banking. They have a lot of money, they go buy land, leave it for a period of time. Do you get? Now, I told you they are divided into 2 parts. The first part is positive. The second part, they have money. They don't want people to know they have that money. So they go and chuck it in land. Diasporans are Nigerians abroad. So usually, especially Igbos, they always migrate. They always come back home. They travel with the mindset to come back home. So in their trip or in their journeys, one of the first things they try to do is to buy properties back home for 2 reasons. When they finally retire and finish and come back home, they have a house to stay. It is somehow for you to go Obodo Oyibo for some years, come back and now start looking for rent to pay. Do you get? So they usually feel like it's a thing that I should live in my own, especially in their villages. Then business too. There are 2 reasons they do that. First is also business. So after working hard, doing all the plenty jobs, they need to invest back home so that when they are done, they retire after 10, 15, 20 years, they can come back to fall back to something that is yielding money for them, right? So in my opinion, these are like the 4 categories of people. If you know any other category, let me know. But during my analysis, I feel like these are the 4. Okay, 4.5, because this one is like 2. That buy real estate in Nigeria. Together. Any other? Yeah. Sorry. And so understanding these categories will make you send your messages to them differently because their needs and desires are different. That's why I feel for realtors that randomly market, like you just everywhere belly fees, because you don't even know who you're marketing to and what your selling point to them is. Because you cannot, someone will not buy what he doesn't have a need for. Do you get? Yeah.
You say something about finding your word.
Yes.
Someone that is doing real estate. You know, no, you don't know anybody. You don't even know.
Who can answer him? Jebe, do you have an answer for him? Okay, yeah, you can answer him. Simple. Just go and research.
Are you going to research like real estate?
That one is now up to you to go and research. Find it yourself. Who can help him? Lovett, can you help him know what to go and research on? Bomar, can you help him? So, if you want to research for other realtors online, what do you do?
Like you don't know somebody.
You're new, fresh, new. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good answer. Yeah. Beautiful. He's asking if he's new, Abby. New, go, don't even know anybody. Okay, that's the same thing you wanted to say. Okay, who else has a different answer? Yeah, okay. You want to say something? Okay. 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 So hope you're noting these key points. There are keywords they are saying that you should note. Keywords. In looking for anything online, you use keywords. That's it. You wanted to say something? Almost the same thing. Keywords, yeah. Okay, yeah, hashtags. Hashtags work, right? I've not tried that before, but I know of keywords. Keywords are sure. On Google, can you work on Google? It's just social media, Instagram and TikTok. So yes, like they rightly said, keywords. Just look for there are keywords you look for. Something like land for sale in your location. So if you want, for instance, you want to play in Niger. Why did Niger even enter my mouth? Right? Land for sale in this place. So you act like a buyer. Put your mind like a buyer. If you're a buyer now, you're looking for land somewhere. What will you do? Do you get? As a realtor, one of your superpowers is to be able to think like a buyer. It's your superpower. Because if you think like a buyer, you'll be able to position yourself to be found like you're thinking. Do you understand? That is a superpower. That is marketing. This thing you asked me now is marketing, right? It's important you be able to learn that. And if you follow people, see what they are doing, you will learn a lot. You'll be able to find who you resonate with, and then Jeff Anozie everywhere. Jeff Anozie everywhere. Okay, so with this, we'll come to the end of today. I hope I end the value of your attention and time. I hope it was worth your 1 hour 30 minutes or 1 hour 45 minutes. For those that missed, that did not come on time, the replay will be on our YouTube channel, Realtors School YouTube channel. It will be there for a while because this information, they are too good to be free. So it will be there for some time. I want to make bold to say I teach one of the most detailed free trainings in Enugu. Who agrees? Yes, and there's a reason I make it free, because I know that there was a time I struggled to get this information, and a lot of people are at that point. I have a paid training, realtorschool.com. Daniel was one of the first people that just graduated, and a few other people, right? It's in depth, right, Daniel? It's deeper than this, actually. So if I give this for free, imagine what's inside here. right? So, but I like to give for free because I know that I was in a position one time that I looked for somebody, even if just one person, to tell me, Jeff, this is the road, walk like this. I did not find. So of course, after doing my research and growing over the years, I felt like, okay, let's do this for free. So we do this every Thursday by 10 a.m. here and online. Online, we stream to our YouTube channel, Realtor School, and every other place. All right. So one of the things I need to leave you with today is, please, you need to take action on things. If you keep learning, you'll be excited though. When you leave this place now, the cares of Ijuwa, the cares of the life. when one conductor call you, everything piam will go away. And you see, the problem again, like I said, is that your brain is not designed to succeed. Your brain is designed to what? Survive. Right? And so your brain will start thinking survival immediately you leave here now. And so you will not take action. And that's why the Bible said that the poor we will always have with us. Why? Because action is reserved, like wealth and riches and progress and success is reserved for only people that take action, actually. All right? So please, note your action points before you leave here. You can sit down for some time and note it properly. Okay, if I leave here now, I'm going to do this, number one. I'm going to do this, number two. I'm going to do this, number three. Do it and fail. Yes. As you're doing it, prepare your mind that it may not be fantastic, but as you keep doing it, you get better. So if you don't have any other questions, do we have any question online? There's no question online, Abby. All right. So with that, we've come to the end of today. Thank you so much for giving me your audience for these 2 hours. You are not just teaching real estate. Okay, Kachi said you're not just teaching real estate. Yeah, I teach. What I teach can apply to any other business, actually. I'm a marketer. So by core, I'm a marketer first. Before I now use the marketing I have to chook inside real estate. Do you get? So that's why I can transfer knowledge. Many people are successful in the business, but they cannot transfer the knowledge. Why? Because there's no strategy to what they do. There's fluke. There are things like fluke. But I can literally show you my model. And if you apply it, I mean, some of you here are witnesses, probably. If you apply it, you will get some success too. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy a great day. Namaste.